Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Show Style and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course. As you can see from the title of this video, I'm going to be taking a look back at an older episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. You know how I do on the weekends. I love to binge watch some older episodes of a lot of different TV shows that I enjoy. And, I'm going to give some commentary on an episode from season 5 of Love and Marriage Huntsville. It is season 5, episode 11. It's titled Destined for Better. And it is about when Melody invited Martell and his mother, Miss Marlene, on a family vacation to Destin, Florida. And this invite to this family vacation is so significant because it is representative of Melody's maturity and her open-mindedness to be cordial with her ex-husband, but he totally blew it. We all know what happened after this trip back in the late summer, August of 2022, and I'm going to get into all of that later. Now, before I do, I ask that you all please hit the like button on this video. By doing so, this will push this video out through YouTube's algorithm, meaning that it will recommend this video to more people who love conversing about Love and Marriage Huntsville. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. I would love to have you. And everything that I'll be saying during this video is alleged and my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on these sound bites are allowed. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see from this still shot, this visual, this is a scene involving Melody, Tiffany, and Stormy. Melody is telling the girls about just the wonderful place that she's in, a place of peace to where things do not bother her. I would imagine the things would be things like Ariane's antics on social media and Martell wanting to control everything about her life. So, their antics, they no longer bother her. And she has decided to do something major. And she is sharing that with Tiffany and Stormy. So I'm going to play the soundbite and then come back with my commentary.
Really trying my best to do my part to make sure my kids have some type of normalcy in terms of what they're used to. So I've been still taking them on vacations, taking them to Nashville, to Opryland, taking them to Destin, Florida. I try to make sure I continue to do that. So I planned a trip to Destin, like I do, for me and them and my mom. And I actually reached out to Martell and invited he and his mother as well. I met with his mom and invited her too. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, you cannot. This is a really big deal. No. Why? Absolutely. Why do it? Because it is the best thing for the children. It may be the best thing for the children, but I want to know why she did it. Like, why you do it? Like, because she prioritizes her kids and she wants to keep their priorities high and first and foremost. No, she said that about going on the trip in general. I'm talking about bringing Martell and his mama. All right. So, this peace, I don't even understand how things don't even be bothering me. And I'm just in such a good place. Like, when you're really happy, for real happy, let me tell y'all something. It don't even matter for real what other folks got going on or doing. It does not disturb you. And so, for me, despite all the stuff Martell has done, I decided to kind of be a bigger person. Yeah, I mean, this is 2 years old at this point. Absolutely. A little bit of growth, right? And to be honest, I've seen growth in him. Like all the little petty, childish stuff he used to do, I guess because he was still so hurt and bitter that I left him. So he's been doing a lot better. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's give this a shot. Maybe you can, come on the trip, invite your mom. My mom's coming, right? And so that's what I've done, and we'll see. Are the kids excited? Yeah, I know they're gonna be happy. But do you think they're gonna think like, oh damn, my mom and my daddy's gonna get back together? No, because I'll have that conversation with them. Yeah. My kids, even though they're young, they're mature. Intellectually, they're very mature. Very mature. Anyone who meets and talks to them are like, y'all kids, something special. Yeah. They're very mature. So I will have the conversation with them to make sure they understand. You think they want that? You think deep down they want that? No. They never asked about it. Used to, but no. And let me be very clear. This also doesn't mean, like, I need him to would not get an inch and try to take a mile. Hopefully he don't start to feel like, oh, so I can call anytime I want to now and start sending me pictures of us as a family and texting me things. Hopefully it doesn't open that door. I'm proud of you. God is good. We'll see how it turns out.
Okay, so that was such an important scene, such really good points that were mentioned. And I just want to say, kudos to any person, Melody Cherie, you out there who's watching this video, for the times where you stepped out on faith. You took a leap of faith. You did not know what the ending would be, but you decided to go for something huge. And for Melody to invite her ex-husband, whom in my opinion, he definitely acts like a control freak stalker, allegedly, and in my opinion, for her to step out on faith and try to extend an olive branch and be cordial with him for the sake of their kids so that the children can enjoy a family vacation with both of their parents. I know that that took both courage and strength for Melody to do that. And she totally stepped out on faith. And, unfortunately, some people, they do not deserve your pearls, like he said, don't give your pearls to swine. Not everyone deserves all of the pearls, the love, the knowledge, the kindness that you have to bring. Not every single person deserves that. And Martell has totally made that point with how he behaved after the Destined trip. Now, of course, what is so funny about taking a look back on things is when you say to yourself, wow, how things have changed. Now, Stormy may have not been sincere, but even as recent as season 5, 2 years ago, 2 seasons ago, Stormy was being super cordial with Melody. And she was smiley and supportive and interested in what Melody had to say. We all know the biggest thing that has changed this dynamic is Stormy's mother, Betty Steele. She has totally sabotaged that friendship. And, again, like I said, Stormy was probably faking in this scene during these times, but her mother just totally took it to a much worse, darker zone with her behavior. And it's just crazy because Stormy is an adult woman with a husband and a kid. But back then, times and things, just the atmosphere was much lighter between the two of them. And then we have Tiffany filming the scene as well. And Stormy was curious as to what would make her go as far as to invite Martell on the family vacation. And Melody totally explained the spiritual side of it all, just no longer being bothered but healed from the past, to the point where she was comfortable enough inviting him out on the trip. And then she acknowledged his ill behavior, saying, hopefully it doesn't get him to crossing boundaries and sending me pictures of us from the past and things of that nature. But, Tiffany was focused solely on how it benefits the kids. And, Melody being level headed, she acknowledged all of the possible outcomes in this scene. So then we have this scene. So the editing for this part was really good because it did kind of like a comparison and contrast between Melody and Martell and with their moms and the conversation that they give. So in this next soundbite, you all are going to hear the cutaways. It's going to start off with Melody and her mom, then go to Marlene and Martell, go back to Melody and her mom, go back to Martell and Marlene, just because the producers were giving that compare and contrast between the two conversations and what their goals were basically out of the vacation. So I'm going to play this soundbite, of course, and then come back with my commentary. And I also just want to pose the question from the last scene with Melody, Tiffany, and Stormy. If you all were in Melody's shoes, would you invite your ex-spouse on a family vacation? Have you ever done something similar to that? It may not have been a family vacation, but perhaps it was a party or a family reunion? Did you invite your ex just for the sake of the kids and to be cordial and like a cohesive family unit for them? I would love to hear about it. All right, so now I'm going to play this soundbite and then I'll be back with my commentary.
I am. Yeah, I love Destined. So.
I'm excited though.
I am too. It's gonna be really nice. As I know of, Martell is coming. I invited him to come, and I also met with his mom. I invited her to come on the trip.
I haven't spoken to her since the divorce.
Yeah.
So how did that conversation go?
The conversation was interesting with her because I was like, you made it seem like I was lazy in the conversation that you had with your son. So did Martell ever come to you and say, man, mama, I done got this wife. She don't do
No, girl.
Yeah, exactly.
I said it. You were spoiled. He had you spoiled.
I just kind of felt like it was out of order. But I think we both just kind of said what we had to say.
That made me feel some kind of way too. And like I said, this is my first time seeing her. So maybe she and I can have a conversation and sort of clear the air between us.
Because we all used to take trips together.
Yeah,
so.
and enjoy being together, And the main thing is, I just think it's so amazing that you all have made this progress, because I was just saying that, recently that it would be so nice if we could all get along for the sake of the children and be in the same space and be able to be cordial to each other.
Mama.
Hey, son. Are you packing?
I am.
All right.
Cool.
So you looking forward to going?
I am.
Are you a little nervous?
I'm definitely nervous. I'm excited. It's our first time going somewhere in the last couple of years, with the kids, So I'm a little nervous. I know what to expect, but I don't know what to expect,
Yeah.
Hoping for the best, though,
But like I say, it's all about the kids.
Yeah. I mean, it is, too, but it's about Melody and I, too, though,
It is. How y'all
because, we've been through a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
We've been through a lot together.
Yeah.
And to me, for us to have said yes to go on this trip, we've been in a much better place, over the last few weeks, though,
So that's good.
Yeah.
That's all them good times we used to have. Oh my God.
Right.
And now the kids older too. Oh.
They get this experience. I always want them to have great experiences.
And
you know what I'm saying?
Mom and dad together. That's gonna be great.
Right.
Let's just have a good time for the kids and enjoy each other. Did the kids know that their grandmom and their dad are coming?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. So what do they say?
No big long conversation. I mean, they're excited.
Cool.
A little nervousness for me is, too, like, you showed me last week, me, Marcel, and Maurice, and Courtney, we were shooting ball and stuff like that, and they had mentioned that, like, going on a vacation like this, me and Mel and the kids, it can really give the kids, like, false hope.
Yeah, I remember my dad and my mom going back on dates after they got divorced, and we're all sitting back like, you think, could this be
But
right?
it made y'all feel good?
We were happy to see it, but we also had the anticipation that this could mean that they're getting back together.
Right.
So that's, I guess, what he's talking about is making it clear.
Like, what are your thoughts when it comes to something like that?
Talk to your children.
Right.
Do y'all children. Do what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all just have to be on the same page when it comes to y'all kids, and it's all about your children.
So I really didn't agree with Marcel and Maurice that Mel and I, we probably shouldn't do certain things together because the kids would get hopeful that the parents would get back together.
Do you plan on talking to him about anything that needs to be discussed on this trip?
No, not at all. I don't really want to have any kind of serious conversations that can lead to going back and forth, disagreements, or triggers. None. I really don't want to do that because, while I am in a great space mentally, I also understand that just like that, you can be flipped back into a position to where all the healing work you've done, you lose it.
I would love for my kids to be hopeful because at the end of the day, Melody or myself, we don't know where God will lead us in the future. We can only hope for the best. And whatever the best is, allow it to take place, To be real, we don't know if we would ever get back together.
Delusional AF. Okay, delusional is I don't know what. So I want to start there. So Martell was telling his mom about how he hung out with the guys, Maurice, Marceau, and Courtney. They were shooting hoops. And Marceau and Maurice, they told him, you want to be clear with your kids because if they see their mom and dad vacationing together, they may have false hope and think, wow, maybe mom and dad are going to get back together. So you want to be clear with them. And Martell said in his confessional that he disagreed with Marceau and Maurice and that he did not want his kids to lose hope. And then he tried to involve God. He tried to say, you never know what God might do. You never know how God might lead us. And that is both laughable and disturbing, because I feel like this is one of the ways that some people try to use God to justify foolishness. On the flip side, if it's like a person who's being used, it's like a Shirley Strawberry in those jail calls. If you listen to phone calls from prison, that YouTube channel, it's amazing. And you listen to Ernesto's calls with Shirley Strawberry, she uses God to convince herself that her being with that man is something that's been willed for her almost, and him being accused of the R word and fraud and violating women allegedly. This is what he's been accused of, allegedly, like somehow it's some sort of test from God. And I feel like God wants people to be way less desperate and way more intelligent than what we allow ourselves to be. Some people, they're just so focused on companionship and wanting to say that they have a man that they'll act desperate. And then on the flip side, you have Martell, where he's trying to use God to be manipulative and for himself to be delusional. He's trying to use God to try and get back with the woman whom he totally screwed over and he messed up. And then you want to try and inflict that delusion onto your kids. So this compare and contrast, it's another significant scene because you just see how delusional this man is, in my opinion. And then with Melody and Miss Van, they have such level-headed, clear conversation. Melody is so smart. She said, "No, I don't want to have any serious conversation on this trip because while we're in a good space, I know that he can just flip that switch and then all of the healing work that you've done is basically gone down the drain." So Melody is exercising self-control. She's being strategic in order to maintain the peace in her life and to make sure that her kids have positive memories of this family vacation. She doesn't want to have any serious conversation with Martell so that he does not go off of the deep end. And I think that that is very smart. We exercise these same skills when we are trying to spend quality time with family members, and you know that you may end up crossing paths with some negative family members. Perhaps they're going to come run through as well. So then you know those boundaries, where to keep the conversation, and then when it dips over, that's when you know it's time to leave. You tell yourself those things, and that's what Melody is doing as well. So it is very, very smart, and it's a reflection of her self-love, 100%. So I thought that this was great. Now, what we all know is that after they filmed the family vacation in Destined, Florida, we know that allegedly he tried to threaten Melody with revenge P, and Melody definitely spoke up and let us know what he was trying to do. And really that threat of revenge P, that's a form of intimidation, right? That's trying to control someone. And you're hoping that they will give in to fear and let you control them. So we all know that while her intentions were pure and of maturity and healing, when she invited him and his mom on the Destined trip, we know that he did not value or appreciate the kind gesture, and he just only tried to control her and manipulate her once again. But what did you all think about the Destin trip and her being so open minded and kind to invite Marlene and Martell on the trip, and then how he turned around and just totally betrayed her? I thank you all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate the support. Again, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video. It is a free way of supporting the channel. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to Show Style and Spirit. I'm so happy that the weekend is here. It has been a long work week, very busy. And I am going to see Ghostbusters. That is like when I was a kid, I used to love those movies. So I'm going to go check it out. I have not watched the Freaknik documentary yet on Hulu. Full disclosure, it's also a concern that Freaknik might trigger me, because I've watched like the low budget documentaries of Freaknik that's on YouTube. I've watched them like quite a few years ago, and it is triggering because there are guys that are pulling girls out of vehicles. They are in the vehicles with their girlfriends. They're getting pulled out, clothes taken off of them. So I just don't want to see all of the degradation. And then, I get so upset. If you follow me on Instagram, my IG stories that I posted earlier today, it was a picture like from the Cosby Show season 1, which has to be like 1985, 1984. And I'm like a year younger than Rudy, Keisha Knight Pulliam. So like I'm like right there, like a little kid. So that's the Bill Cosby that I adore. But it's like, not the one that he's been accused of. And just like, I don't like the violation of women, y'all. Like, what is it about sex that just makes some people just act so ridiculous? So that's what gives me pause on watching the Freaknik documentary, because I've watched other, lower scale documentaries on YouTube, and I just don't want to be triggered. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you have watched the Freaknik documentary on Hulu, or if you will be watching it. Let me know if you want me to give commentary on it. I don't know if I will, but yes, if I get enough yeses, then sure, I'll do it. But thanks again for watching this video, and I will talk with you all soon. Bye.